Okay, well, hello everyone. It's Rene Liaw here from MLM Unbiased, and today I'm going to talk about a really important topic in terms of how to look for a really proper, good compensation plan. It's kind of related, but it's about retention. So today's topic is all about retention, and I just came back actually from a meeting with some other top leaders in a different company. And again, I always talk about retention because retention is so important when you're trying to make that lifelong business in network marketing. And so why is retention important? Put it this way, retention just means of the people you brought into the business, how many of them are still on a monthly basis actively buying products, okay? Because if you have a team of 1,000 people, and most of them are on their monthly orders, you have good retention. However, if you have 1,000 people and most of them are not buying their monthly products, doesn't matter if you have 1,000 people in your team, you don't really have 1,000 people in your team, if that makes sense, right? So looking at the stats on the DSA, the average retention ratio today is anywhere from about 6% to 10%, okay? Which is usually sort of after the first year, which is kind of sad because the first year in your business is where you usually have the best kind of, retention ratio because everyone's brand new, they haven't had too much time to, get into the business and things can happen, but the first year is usually the best year for retention. So, but that's a horrible rate. And so what you want to look at if you are in a network marketing business today, what you want to look at is, well, of the team that I have right now, the total team, that you get paid on, because in our previous video we talked about levels. So if you have 1,000 people but you only get paid to the first 7 levels, you don't really have 1,000 people in your team, right? So retention is looking at the people you get paid on, okay, of the people that are in your team that you get paid on, how many of them are on their monthly orders. Now let's talk about, well, why is retention that bad? So why is the average retention ratio from 6% to 10%? And here's why. And I can only use my own previous examples and stories I heard of from different people, but my first company in network marketing was again in a health and wellness company. And so not to mention any names, but it's a typical company that sold the vitamins, incredible products, really good stuff here. Again, had a monthly auto ship. Every month you had to buy products, okay? And so what happened was, not only did we sell vitamins, but we sold weight loss, there was shampoos, there was different kinds of stuff, right? But here's what happened for me though. A lot of people who get on auto ship, what typically happens is the first month, they might not really finish all of their supply. They might. But after a few months, people start to forget a few days to take their vitamins, right? And I'm not talking about the hardcore, leaders, because most of them, they'll eat all their products, or they won't really care if they have too much products. But the average person, most people don't really finish their supply. So what happened for myself and my team was a lot of people on month 2 or month 3, as it kept going on, they had extra leftovers each month. And after half a year or to a year time frame, they now have a kitchen full of products that they have not yet finished. So what happens then is they see all this stuff lying in their kitchen, and every month they're paying this money for the next shipment, and they're starting to think to themselves, well, if I'm not making any money in the company, or even if I am making money in the company, but I have so much product, then I should just stop my auto ship for a few months. So that's one problem why retention can be bad, is if your company makes people have to order products on a monthly basis, in which case part of those people might not finish those products, you will face this problem, okay, which is what causes retention to become so low. Another problem for retention is a question that you really have to ask yourself, it's really important, is how many other companies are there out there that are kind of selling a similar product to what you're selling? So after my first company, which was a health company, and I realized retention was bad. On top of that though, I was 20 years old back then. Most of my friends didn't care about spending all this money on expensive supplements, right? So aside from that point as well too, I left that company, went to my second network marketing company. I've only been in 3, and this is my third one's my current one. The second company though was in a travel-based company. And I only got started because of the fact that there was no one else in Toronto at that point in time doing travel with network marketing. So I thought, wow, I can be like the first one or one of the first few ones in this concept that has never been done before. So I hopped on board, got started, things were going great, but then what happened, and take very key note of this, what happened was within a year time frame, another company came out and copied the same concept that was that travel company. So now we had two travel companies. And two things will happen when you have another company kind of copy what you're doing, especially if you have no way of really saying why you're so much better, right? But even if you can, comp plan or leadership or ownership, you'll still have this problem though. The problem is twofold. First problem, the people who are in my team, at the bottom, if you want to call it that, when they hear that there's a new travel company and they're hearing from these other people, hey, come on over here, you can be at the top of this company, a bunch of your people will leave you, which causes, again, bad retention. The second problem, which is even worse than the first problem, the second problem is that the leaders in my company, in that travel company, knew that people would leave and go to the other company. So the leaders are often smarter. They actually made a deal with this other company, and they basically brought all the people from this company to the next company, which really pissed me off because now I had the leaders above me talking to my team to go and switch to the other company. When that happened, I literally almost gave up hope in network marketing. I said, you know what? People can make money, but it's not me. But that has a lot to do with your retention, is can your company be copied by another company that has similar products, and what's that probability of happening? And so what's really important is a business term called barrier of entry, okay? Barrier of entry, which means the harder it is for some other company to simulate what you're doing, the better it is for you, okay? But again, if you look at direct sales today, 110 million people reported on the World Federation Direct Selling Association are in direct sales. And of that population of people in direct sales, over 90% of them are in the same category of selling health and wellness. That's why retention sucks, because there's so many people. You're competing with 90 million plus other people selling similar health products, right? And there's healthy oils, there's healthy chocolates, there's healthy vitamins, there's healthy powders, there's healthy shakes, there's healthy everything, right? And so end of the day, this video was really just to sort of hopefully open up your mindset and your eyes to a topic that I find most companies never talk about. Now, be careful. I've heard of some companies that say they have a 90% retention ratio, and it's absolutely absurd. So be very careful on how a company calculates their retention ratio. So in this particular company, the way that they calculated the retention ratio was when you first sign up for the business, there's an option that says, reorder a 1 month supply. So after your first month order comes in, there's a little checkbox that can allow the person to order 1 extra month of supply. Not the whole year, not every month, not the next 10 years, but just 1 month. And they base their retention on the people who checkbox that box. Really? Again, retention is supposed to be year after year after year, month after month for years. That is proper retention ratio. And so, in a very good company, if your retention ratio, and again, be honest with yourselves, right? Because we're all in a profession, we're all professionals. Ask yourself, how many years have you been in network marketing in your current business or previous businesses? And ask yourself, of those people in your team today, how many of them? Look in your back office and check. Of the people you brought in, total, how many of them are on their monthly orders? Because that is retention. That is how you can go to the beach. If you're, again, we talked about bonuses versus commissions, right? If your plan is heavily focused on bonuses, you can't retire that way. You're constantly working because bonuses come once and they're gone. Residual income, what you want is every single month, right? So again, I hope that this training topic today has really helped a few of you guys just to look at some realities, do a little checkup on your business, find out if you're on track, because do the math. If your first year retention is really low, the second year gets lower and lower. The third year typically gets lower and lower and lower, right? So forecast, if you have 100 people in your team and 20 are on their monthly payments, the same 20 next year won't be 20 again. So forecast how many more people do you have to bring in the next year or sell to or clientele to make that income. And so if you can't really see a way of maintaining high retention, then just understand that you're not going to have a long-term business. And so fortunately for myself, I've been able to maintain a 70% retention. But again, that's just my own personal system I put together with my team in my company. But again, I hope this video has helped you a lot to really understand retention, because it is a major factor in you building that lifelong retirement business. Okay, so anyhow, it's Rene Liaw here from MLM Unbiased. Hope you have a great day. See you guys later.